They're not just dogs. They're warriors, survivors, legends. But what happens when loyalty becomes conformity? When courage hides trauma? And when leadership means sending your friends to die? Today, we go beyond the fur and fangs and into the psychology of Silver Fang. Welcome to Unmasked. Silver Fang, also known as Ginga, Nagareboshi Gin, is a 1980s manga series by Yoshihiro Takahashi that tells the story of Gin, a tiger-striped Akita pup destined to become a hero. Born into a line of bear hunters, Gin is trained from a young age to fight against Akakabuto, a monstrous, seemingly invincible bear who has taken control of the mountains and threatens both humans and animals alike. But the story quickly expands beyond a simple man versus nature conflict. Gin eventually joins a secretive army of wild dogs who have left their human masters to form a resistance. Their mission: overthrow Akakabuto and reclaim peace in the mountains. But the deeper you look, the more you realize Silver Fang isn't just about fighting bears. It's about war, trauma, loyalty, and what it means to lead when everything is on the line. One of the most compelling aspects of Silver Fang is its portrayal of group dynamics. The Wild Dog Army operates as a structured society, with hierarchies, loyalty oaths, and even punishments for disobedience. This taps directly into group psychology and pack mentality. According to social identity theory, we tend to define ourselves by the groups we belong to. For these dogs, identity becomes synonymous with allegiance. You're either with the pack or you're a threat. This is intensified by conformity pressure. Dogs are expected to follow orders, even if it means sacrificing themselves. We see moments where dissent is dangerous, where speaking out can lead to exile or even death. This mirrors real-world psychological phenomena like the Ash conformity experiments and Milgram's obedience study, where individuals went against their morals to conform to group expectations or authority. The Wild Dog Army, despite fighting for justice, exhibits signs of ideological rigidity, a belief that the mission justifies any cost. This isn't just loyalty, it's indoctrination. Viewed through Carl Jung's psychological archetypes, Silver Fang transforms from a war story into a mythic hero's journey. Gin is the hero archetype, young, untested, but brave. His journey involves growth through adversity, eventually confronting the monstrous force that represents the chaos threatening his world. Akakabuto, the demonic bear, represents the shadow, the primal, violent part of the psyche that must be confronted and integrated. It is not just an external threat, but a symbol of unchecked rage, domination, and trauma. The mentor archetype appears in the form of Ricky, Gin's father, and other elder dogs who guide the younger generation. But unlike traditional mentors, many of these figures are scarred by past wars, mentally and physically, hinting at the cost of wisdom gained through suffering. There is also a duality in Gin's identity. He is both a domestic dog trained by humans and a wild warrior leading a revolution. This mirrors Jung's concept of individuation, the psychological process of integrating conflicting identities to become a whole self. Gin must reconcile his lineage, his instincts, and his moral compass, not just to win battles, but to understand who he really is. Silver Fang is brutally, violent. Dogs are impaled, mauled, dismembered. And these aren't just side characters. Major, beloved figures die often and painfully. What makes it unsettling is how quickly the characters, and even the audience, become numb. This desensitization mirrors real-life psychological responses to prolonged exposure to trauma and death, commonly seen in soldiers, first responders, or survivors of war. In psychology, this is called emotional numbing, a symptom of PTSD and CPTSD. The dogs in Silver Fang, especially those who fought for years, often display this. They mourn briefly, then return to battle. There's also the normalization of violence. Young dogs are raised to expect pain, to accept death as part of life. This conditioning is troubling. It shows how a society at war grooms its youth for sacrifice, sometimes before they even understand what they're fighting for. It raises questions. Is bravery still noble if it's born of trauma? Is a soldier still a hero if he no longer feels? At the heart of Silver Fang is the theme of leadership. How do you lead a pack made of trauma survivors, rogues, and ideologues? Gin is a transformational leader. He inspires through courage and vision. Unlike older leaders, he doesn't lead by fear. He listens, adapts, evolves. He brings together enemies, outcasts, and old rivals to form a unified front. Contrast this with characters like Ben or even Riki, leaders shaped by command and control. They represent the authoritarian model. Strong, rigid, sometimes emotionally distant. Their authority comes from experience and survival, not connection. Leadership in Silver Fang often comes with unbearable weight. Command means making decisions that get others killed. And for many leaders, guilt and emotional repression become survival strategies. Psychologically, this aligns with moral injury, the deep emotional and spiritual wounds left by decisions that violate one's core values, especially in war. When Gin rises to leadership, he doesn't just inherit power, he inherits responsibility, loss, and the emotional burden of leading others to die for a cause he must keep believing in, even when it tears him apart. Silver Fang is more than just a shonen manga about dogs fighting a bear. It's a tale of identity forged in blood, a study of leadership scarred by war, a mirror held up to the cost of conformity, and the weight of legacy. The dogs in this story may walk on 4 legs, but their struggles, loyalty, trauma, violence, purpose, are profoundly human. And in Gin, we don't just see a hero, we see a soldier, a survivor, and a soul learning to carry the burden of others' hope. If you enjoyed this psychological deep dive into Silver Fang, don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell us in the comments, who should we analyze next? Until next time, stay sharp and stay human.